All right. Today we had a bull breakout, and first we're looking at the triple Qs, which was up 1.53% today. And all we needed for the bull breakout was a clear price action break out of the highs of this range, which was the breakout above 534. And you can see if I zoom in here with today's price action, we gapped up above that bull breakout zone. And all the bulls had to do was just simply hold above it, meaning even if we had a retest of that breakout, if they could just continue to push higher, that was more than enough evidence from price action that the highs of this range were broken, and that price action favors the bulls to continue to push. So remember, if we were going lower, we had to continue to make these lower highs. As you can tell here, we continue to make lower highs and lower lows. And that could have been the start of a deeper correction, but as you can tell, it was simply just a lazy range trading period as the market was consolidating before we break out of the high of the range. Now, I will warn you, even though we no longer have the lower highs, it is always possible during a bull breakout for a false bull breakout. So let me make this very simple for you, and this is a bull breakout as long as the triple Qs can hold above 534. The reason I tell you that is because we do have a gap now that is open, and keep in mind we have a ton of gaps to the downside, so these gaps don't have to close anytime soon. I think if you look back here, we have gaps that go all the way back to April of 2025. So these gaps have been open for over 2 months now. And that's completely fine, but at some point you do need to be aware if the triple Qs cannot hold above 534, we are at a minimum going to close the gap at 532. Now, while we're above 534, we are pushing back to the previous all-time high, which was right up there at this exact same zone. And then above here, we usually will squeeze out a lot of short sellers that are still holding for new high breakout. And that would easily send us to that price target higher at 544 and then 546. So the bulls have everything they need from price, and now they just need to simply stay above 534. So if you want to remain bullish, this chart is allowing it. And as you can tell, I can now draw yet again another higher low breakout because we had the higher high. And if I zoom out, this was that V-shaped recovery that I was talking about from the April low. This was back when I said the market was capitulating, and because of the capitulation, we would get a V-shaped recovery when all of the sellers were done selling. And as you can see with the test of the previous all-time high, that is a complete V-shaped recovery from the previous all-time high all the way back to retest it. And this V-shaped recovery could continue into a bull market if we just continue to break out and continue higher. So without a doubt, this is a bull market. There's lots of stocks that move the market that are at all-time highs. Microsoft is a great example. You have other stocks like Nvidia that are pushing to previous all-time highs. And you have lots of semiconductor stocks starting to catch a bid like AMD. And AMD was actually a trade idea. We can look at that very quickly. It was back here. I said AMD was a rare buying opportunity. And I said with 95% confidence, I was very sure it was going back to 137 sometime this year. And I had two buy zones, which were right around 96. And then another one down here right around 83. And we did go as low as about 76.5. So we did get a very deep capitulation there in AMD. But regardless, it hit the price target today right on the dollar, which was up there right around 137. So that trade has worked very well. And while I'm not saying it can't go higher, this is definitely a great time to lock profits on that trade idea. So there are trades doing very well. If you look at the Mag 7 stocks, we have Microsoft, which is just continuing to push out to brand new all-time highs. The previous all-time high was up there right around 467, and we're sitting up here right around 490. So we are getting price action confirmation. The market does want to continue to go higher. But then again, you have stocks like Apple, which is a trade idea currently that I'm talking about owning here right around 199. But if you look at the previous all-time high on Apple, it's all the way up there at 259. And with today's close, Apple is still down nearly 23% from the previous all-time high. And you have Microsoft, which is sitting out here at brand new all-time highs. And this is not something you're going to see too often, where Apple stock is 23% down from the previous all-time high, and Microsoft is up here at a brand new all-time high. Typically, those two companies move very lock in step, and they're usually not off by that much of a margin. But sometimes the market does weird things, and that's why you need to always follow price. And if we're looking at the triple Qs, they are also trying to push to a brand new all-time high, and that is going to put more buying pressure into Apple stock as people continue to see that it's still 23% down from the highs. Now, obviously, there could be other things going on, and Apple doesn't need to recover, but it is Apple stock, and it would be very hard to bet against it, so keep that in mind. So let's quickly jump over to SPY, because SPY also did get the bull breakout today, which was that clear break above 604, and I was telling you these could be lower highs, so keep on the watch for that possibility. But with today's price action, that tells us these are no longer lower highs, and now we have another higher low, and that higher low will be that higher low above 594. So while SPY is above 604, it is looking bullish. If it can't hold that breakout, we come down and close the gap at 600, and the previous all-time high test is up there at 613, and the new all-time high price targets would be 617 and then 627. So again, this is price action saying we're going higher. You don't have to agree with it, but that is the chart telling you what's going on, and the chart cannot lie, and we always follow the chart. So if you are trading, it looks like the bulls are still in control as long as these indices continue to show higher lows and higher highs. I would be looking for bull trades instead of short trades. And I just gave you a great example of Apple stock, which is still looking very great with the risk reward setup that it has. Even though it's not moving right now, it is a great time to consider looking at it and looking for opportunities to get low risk entries. Now, if you don't mind buying high, there's other stocks in very strong bull trends. But again, eventually these things will see pullbacks and corrections. So just be aware of that and always manage that risk. Year to date, we are now up 20.27%. So we are absolutely blowing this market out of the water. And you can have this exact same performance because this is my trade alert service where I send you the exact percent allocations that you should be trading for the TQQQ and SQQQ. All you need to do is simply follow the percent allocations that I send during the alert, and you will have the same exact performance, and you will absolutely crush the market as well. Now is a great time to join because we are extremely cash heavy. So if you would like to come trade with me, this is the best way to do that. And you can find out how to join TSC Trade Alerts by clicking on the link in the description of this video. So thank you for watching, everybody. Now go crush this market.